Welcome to a chilling video about the dark side of dating apps. As more and more people turn to these digital platforms to find love and companionship, there's a world beyond those screens that can be downright terrifying. In this video, we'll be sharing some bone-chilling stories from men who've experienced the dark side of online dating. From catfishing and ghosting to being stalked and even physically attacked, these stories will make you think twice before swiping right. So buckle up, grab a friend, and get ready to delve into the unnerving world of dating apps. Because the truth is, sometimes the scariest thing about finding love is the person on the other side of the screen. Story 1. I was in my early 20s when I came across a dating app. Many of my friends had tried them and were having successful love lives, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Little did I know that one right swipe was going to change my entire perspective on dating apps. I matched with a girl named Lisa, and she was beautiful. Her messages were poetic, and every word she spoke was music to my ears. I found myself falling in love with her. We didn't talk or video chat much because she wasn't online often, but I still wanted to meet her as soon as possible to make our relationship official. Her blue eyes appeared in my dreams, and I couldn't wait to see her in person. Then one day, Lisa took the initiative and asked me to come to her place. I was over the moon and got dressed up for the occasion. I picked up a bottle of wine and a bouquet of flowers, determined to make a great first impression. I arrived at her address and rang the bell for almost half an hour, but there was no response. I even tried calling her phone, but it was switched off. As I was standing outside her door, a man passing by stopped and asked me why I was standing there. I explained my situation, and the man told me that this house had been abandoned for a few months, and that the girl I was talking about had lived here and died in a car accident a few months ago. My heart sank as I realized that the girl I'd fallen in love with was no longer alive. I couldn't believe it. All those conversations we had, the emotions I felt, and the dreams I had, all of it felt like a lie now. I was devastated, but then I noticed something strange. The man who had stopped to talk to me, his face was twisted in a grotesque and almost inhuman way. His skin was unnaturally pale, and his eyes were dark and sunken in. Suddenly I felt a chill run down my spine. It felt like something was watching me, something sinister. I quickly made my way out of there, and as I looked back, I saw a shadowy figure standing in the window of the abandoned house. It felt like Lisa's ghost was trying to tell me something, but I couldn't understand what it was. From that day on, I deleted all my dating apps, and I've never used them since. The experience left me feeling scared and haunted, and I'll never forget the lesson that I learned. Not everything is as it seems, and the world behind the screens can be a scary and dangerous place. Story 2. I never thought I would ever try online dating apps. My friend suggested that I should give it a try, so I downloaded a few apps and started swiping through the profiles. I talked to many girls, but none of them seemed special until I saw her, Georgia. She had an alluring smile, and her eyes were captivating. We started chatting, and I felt a deep connection with her. We talked for hours on video calls and text messages, and I enjoyed every second of it. After a few weeks, we decided to meet in person, and our first date was amazing. I was glad that I'd found someone special. Then, one day, she invited me over to her place. I was thrilled that our relationship was taking the next step. As soon as I entered her apartment, I noticed a strange door. It looked out of place, so I opened it out of curiosity. What I saw inside the room, though, made me feel sick to my stomach. I saw several glass bottles containing organs that I couldn't recognize. I was horrified. I didn't know what to do. The girl came back from the kitchen and saw me standing there. She looked at me with a strange smile, and I knew that something was wrong. I wanted to leave, but I was afraid for my life. I'd never been so scared before. I didn't know if I would make it out alive. I acted as if everything was fine. I pretended that I hadn't seen everything. As soon as I got a chance, I ran out of the apartment and never looked back. I blocked her on every platform and never spoke to her again. I was glad that I'd gotten away from her, but the image of those glass bottles haunted me for months. I couldn't believe that I'd almost become one of those bottles. I learned a valuable lesson that day. Online dating can be dangerous, and you never know who you're talking to. Sometimes, it's better to be single than to risk your life by meeting a stranger. Story 3. I met her on a dating app, and her name was Sarah. We'd exchanged messages for a few days, and she seemed like a nice girl. We talked about our interests, our passions, and our life goals. She had a great sense of humor, and her messages always left me wanting more. I was excited to meet her in person, and we decided to meet at a local bar for our first date. When I arrived, I saw her sitting at a table, looking even more beautiful than her pictures. We talked and laughed for hours, and I couldn't believe my luck. Sarah seemed perfect. After a few dates, I started to notice some strange behavior. She would get angry over small things, and she seemed to have a dark side. One day when we were at her apartment, she showed me a room that was filled with dolls. There were dolls of all shapes and sizes, and they all had a creepy, eerie quality to them. I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about her. One night, Sarah invited me over for dinner. She'd cooked a delicious meal, and we were having a great time, until she started acting strange. She was staring at me with an intensity that made me uncomfortable, and I could see something in her eyes that scared me. She asked me to come into her bedroom, and I hesitated, but went anyway. As soon as I walked in, I saw a wall that was covered in photos of me. Some of the photos were from our dates, but others were taken when I wasn't even aware. I felt a chill run down my spine. It was clear that Sarah was obsessed with me, and I knew I had to get out of there. I tried to make an excuse to leave, but she wouldn't let me go. She was getting more and more agitated, and I realized that I was in serious danger. I managed to grab my phone and call for help, and the police arrived just in time to rescue me. It turned out that Sarah had a history of stalking and had been in and out of mental institutions. I was lucky to have escaped with my life, and that experience taught me that not everyone on dating apps is who they appear to be, and it's important to be careful and trust your instincts. So that was all from this video. I hope you all had a good time here. It's just a suggestion that always try to be safe and cautious when you're going to meet someone new. See you again with another video with more horrifying dating app experiences. Till then, see you later, and take care.